Hi fellas, so I totally didn't steal this idea from Carsten Runquist, and I can say that because he talks about movies. I'm going to talk about music. But hey, I'm just trying this out because I think it would be interesting if I actually document the music I listen to. I listen to a lot of music all the time, and my mate Yassine has been recommending this idea because he thinks I should be doing something with the knowledge of music that I have. So here we are. You happy, Yassine? I'm actually doing it now, you happy? In case you stumbled upon this video with no knowledge of who I am, you're not missing out. But hi, I'm JamesWest. There's no space in between the James and the West. Write that down somewhere. I make music, a lot of music, some commercial stuff, some film scoring, and overall I'm a freelancer, so my scope is endless. I also know how to mix and master. I think I can write songs pretty well, and my attention span is god-awful. Oh, look, a penny! But that's enough about me. Let's talk about the music. I am going to start off October by listing a few things I listen to at the end of September. The way I listen to new music is by putting it into a folder called To Listen To on Spotify. If I think it's good, I put it into the good shit folder. That's just how I work. I don't use the like songs feature. Don't at me, because I'm not on Twitter. My first entry is Chet Faker's 3 albums, Listening in Textures, Built on Glass, and Hotel Surrender. These are fine. I know a lot of his work with Flume, and these two people basically feel like brothers in the way that they are hungry for new ideas. And these 3 albums do feel hungry to explore conventional concepts in interesting ways. But sometimes I feel those ideas stick around too long, and some songs just don't grip me at all. But for context, 9 years span across these 3 albums, and I listened to them in 1 week. They melded into one entire album, which is why my take is a little skewed. But needless to say, some gems would be Cigarettes and Chocolates, Low, and Feel Good. Greta Isaac's 5'1". This isn't the first time I'm listening to Isaac's stuff. Her EP Pessimist just blew me away, and her voice is incredible, and the production is just mind-blowing. A 5'1" is no different. It blends together some ideas really well, like punk rock instrumentation in the chorus, with verse melodies that sound like they're ripped out of an ABBA song, which is something I've been hearing quite a lot recently, and the chord progression is just so imaginative. Every unexpected change feels like it's taking you deeper into the world that Greta is creating, especially when her voice is just so impressively strong. And if you like that song, immediately go listen to Like Me. That's all I'll say. Oh boy. Lil Nas X, Montero. Now, I listened to this about a week after it came out, but I decided to re-listen to it to confirm my thoughts on it. Now, I have no interest in this man, but I do think that his methods of promotion are stellar. So I listened to this album to really confirm my theory that this kind of music is just a phase and it's on the way out. And I was really impressed. I mean, yes, the rap, trap songs aren't my cup of tea still, but they really aren't the forefront of this album, which was really nice to hear. The pop songs in this album are so good. I much prefer when Nas sings. I think the expressionism in his voice just suits the genre really well. I even think that the production in the pop songs are so much more creative. My favourite songs were That's All I Want and Am I Dreaming? And the next thing I listened to was my own single, I Waited For You. No, I'm just kidding, but I get to talk about it now. As a departure from some of the music I've been releasing recently on my upcoming EP, I Waited For You is a summer song. It's my own take on an Easy Life track. So much so that I even reference Ocean View. I wrote it in Cornwall late July, produced it while I was only half deaf. I know, don't ask. And I finally released it on October 1st. Please go listen to it. It's a favourite of mine at the moment. I hope you like it too. And my new EP is coming soon. I swear, I want to finish it so badly. Alessia Cara's In the Meantime. Oh mama, I was impressed. While this is a very typical pop album and is way too long, it definitely tries to stand out from the crowd of all the other female pop singers that get a bunch of co-writers to write every single song. Do I sound annoyed? Cara obviously didn't want her music to fall into the same area as Ariana Grande, Camila Cabello, or Selena Gomez, so the music constantly reinvents itself across the 18 songs. But it kept itself in the ballpark of this Jamaican Caribbean instrumentation, sample drums that sometimes dip their toe in hip-hop, but not enough for me to definitively call it hip-hop, if you know what I mean. And her melodies and harmonies are just chef's kiss. Again, she carries a Caribbean influence on her sleeve, while borrowing from many different genres on the way, especially jazz. And yeah, the quantity is still an issue. Some songs just feel like they repeat themselves, but hey ho, that's pop. My favourite songs are Box in the Ocean, Fishbowl, and Middle Ground. Adele's Easy on Me. Did anyone actually think that she'd be releasing more music? Because I certainly didn't. But yeah, it's fine. It's not saying much. It's an Adele song, but it's basically about her missing out on her early adulthood because she was too famous. Now, whose fault was that? Sam Fender's 17 Going Under. Bloody hell, can I marry this man's brain? This does feel like a continuation from his first album, in my opinion, but from that perspective, it's probably the best way for him to go. And similarly, this album is so much better than Hypersonic Missiles. And that says something, considering that second albums are usually the toughest ones to get out your system. Of course, 17 Going Under, the song, is the best song. It sets up the instrumentation, the stories, and the overall flavour of the album really well. Song after song after song, it just kept me wanting more. They're so infectious. I wish I could talk more about this. This album is incredible and I feel so inspired. You know, it even inspired me to go back and listen to his first album again. So maybe I'll talk about that in the next video. Oh yeah, my favourite songs are basically the first 6. Can I do that? Sure. Sungazer's Perihelion. I'll keep this really short because I'm getting tired. It's jazz, and it's really cool, and it's got strange time signatures and electronic goodness. And even then, watch Adam Neely's breakdown on some of the songs, and you will see how crazy it is. Give it a try with open ears, very open ears, and the standout songs for me were Threshold, The Dark, and Thick is Thick. Coldplay's Music of the Spheres. Okay, this was one I was waiting to talk about since it was announced months ago. I didn't listen to Everyday Life till like a year later after it came out, because honestly, I was so bored of Coldplay by that point, but then I did, and I loved it. It was such a varied album. So this album, it's so much better than I expected. And people still say that Coldplay is boring. This album is just gorgeous. It's rich with energy and had so much thought put into it, from the songwriting to the artwork. Look at this artwork! Me being someone who loves to put effort into how my music is displayed, it brings me so much joy when I see the top bands and artists do the same as well. Every song has its own planet, and its own language, and its own Also, the production is just so on point. It's so full, so clean, and it's only 40 minutes long. Beautiful. Doesn't waste any time. Saying that, the last song is 11 minutes long, but it doesn't feel like it. My only flaw with this is the fact that it feels more like a long EP than an album. This honestly could have done with one more song. And here's something really odd. I listened to the album 3 times on my phone, and all the crossfades weren't working, which is a real bummer because they said it was a continuous album, and if you know me, I love continuous albums. But then I listened to this album on my laptop before writing this, and all the fades were suddenly there, but it does make all the difference. I say again, I wish I could talk more about this album, but I can't because it's Coldplay, and for some reason people still have a bad reputation with Coldplay, which I completely understand, but come on, listen to this album. Higher Power, Humankind, and My Universe take the cake, but the fade out and My Universe is awful. But anyway, I hope you like me rambling about some music I listened to this month. If you enjoy this kind of video, maybe I'll do more. Here is all the music that I wrote entries for, but I left it out for time's sake. But if you want me to talk about this music, or any other music with the knowledge that I have, I'm more than happy to. Yeah, bye.